Okay, back at it. Section 6 of Chapter 2 is equations with absolute value. There's not really so much that I can chat about from within the section. There's more to talk about when we get to 2.7 with inequalities. So I think the easiest way to go about Section 2.6 is literally just jumping into the problem set. I'll work 3 of them out. You'll see that you go about all of them the same way. Absolute value means absolutely that distance from 0. So you will have 2 answers. You'll have a positive and a negative. The goal is to take away the absolute value symbol and set the remaining quantity equal to a positive and a negative. Okay, so let's jump to it. So section 2.6, I want to do number 23 first. Number 23, absolute value of 2x minus 5 equals 3. Okay, so what I know is that absolute value, let's suppose I'm going to write this. We know absolute value of 3 is 3, but we also know absolute value of negative 3 is 3. We know that's true with absolute value. Absolute value of 3 would be 3, but also the absolute value of negative 3 would be 3. So the way we solve these problems is we say, okay, well, if we had 2x minus 5, we know 2x minus 5 could be equal to 3 because this quantity in here, 3 would be equal to 3. That's true. But we also know that the quantity inside here, well, I just wrote it. I'm not going to write it again. We also know that the quantity inside here could be negative 3. So if I take the absolute value away, I'm saying the quantity inside 2x minus 5, I'll write or here so we don't lose track. It could be negative 3. This piece inside could be negative 3 or 3. I know that's terrible looking deal, but oblong heart or butt. So 2x minus 5 equals 3 or 2x minus 5 equals negative 3. That quantity inside, when we take the bracket, all I did was take the brackets away. And I know that inside there I'm talking about a negative 3 or a 3 because either one, the absolute value of it is 3. So I solve both of them. So 2x equals 8. Whoops, I wrote 2 x's. 2x equals 8. Divide by 2. X can equal 4. And then over here, if I add that, I end up with 2x not equals 8 now because I had a negative 3, so equals 2. And I divide x equals 1. So I know my 2 values for number 23 are 1 and 4. X equals 1, x equals 4. The book is probably just, the book is just going to write them in order and say, hey, 1 and 4, there's the answers. Don't use interval notation because we're not talking about interval notation. We're just talking about values. X is 1 or x is 4. You can write it like this. I don't care how you write it. On the test, it's going to be multiple choice. So as long as you get a 1 and a 4, you'll find them and answer it. So that was number 23. I want to move to 39. Don't let this throw you off. Just know you take the absolute value away and you have a positive answer and a negative answer. Number 39, we have to move something first. And this, I will tell you, is one area where I see the most mistakes is one of these problems. Here's my absolute value. This is my absolute value. I need to isolate that. So to isolate that, I need to move, I'll do it, I need to move this 8 over. I am not worried about a positive negative 2 because I have an 8 over here, negative 8. I need to get rid of that and have only my absolute value on one side. You want only absolute value on one side before before solving for a positive and negative. Okay, so I add my 8. I have 10 equals the absolute value of 4 minus 1/2 y. Now I can take my absolute value symbol away, but not before now. So I have 10 equals 4 minus 1/2 y. I'm going to say or negative 10 equals 4 minus 1/2 y. Remember, the only value we're changing is the one away from the absolute value, where the absolute value was. So I know that that quantity inside here can equal 10, which makes sense, but it can also equal negative 10, because the absolute value, if this quantity were negative 10, the absolute value of it would be 10. That's why we do this. Okay, so let me move. I'm not going to worry about getting rid of the fraction yet, because it's pretty simple in this case. There's only one. It's a half. So, and I'm not worried about moving it and making it positive, because this is a pretty simplistic problem and it's not equality. So 6 equals negative 1/2 y. I need to multiply by a negative 2 to make that positive. Negative 12 equals y. Should make sense. Half of y equals 6. I have to multiply by a 2 to get that 2 out of there. I'm multiplying by a negative 2 to make a positive y. So y can be negative 12, or over here, we're going to move our 4 over the same as we did before, but we had a negative 10, so now we have a negative 14 equals a negative 1/2 y, and we do the same thing. We multiply by a negative 2 to get rid of it. So positive 28 equals y. So my y is either 28 or negative 12, and I don't mind how you write it in there. And then we're going to go to number 49, I have written down as the next one to work. Solve the following. Oh yeah, that's why. So number 49, they try to trick you. They want to throw you off. You're not going to be thrown off. You're too smart. You catch on to their little tricks. Okay, so 49 is 3a plus 1, and then 2a minus 4. They give us two absolute values. Basically, the rule of thumb that I mentioned in class, choose one side, make it positive, make it negative. That's all you have to do. It doesn't matter which side you choose. I usually take the left and keep it the same. So I'm going to say 3a plus 1 is positive 2a minus 4, or, again, keep one side the same. I'm keeping the left the same. Every one of these I do. If you come to me in a Zoom office hour and ask, I'm going to keep the left side the same. So 3a plus 1 can equal a positive 2a minus 4, or it can equal a negative entire quantity, 2a minus 4. So we'll work the simple one first. I am going to move my 2a over here, and I'm going to move my 1 over here. Again, you can start doing these all at the same time if you're comfortable with them. So when I move, I automatically have 1a over here. So my answer is what my value is. And it happens that I'm taking negative 1 and negative 4, I get a negative 5. So one answer is a equals negative 5. Over here, I have one extra step involved because I needed to negate the entire quantity. So to negate the entire quantity, I just changed the sign. Negative 2a, positive 4. Now I move. So now I'm going to move my 2a over here, and I'm going to subtract my 1 over here. Remember, I'm dealing with different signs, so it's going to be a different answer. So I have 5a now over here, and I have positive 3 over here. And yeah, I get a fraction, but I got it by simple division, so it wasn't that nasty of a problem. So a is 3/5. So a equals either 3/5 or negative 5, and that was all I had. That was all I had on 2.6. I don't think it's that bad if you wrap your head around what you're doing. All you're doing is take away the absolute value symbol and set that answer equal to a positive and a negative. The tricky ones are toward the bottom, which you only have a few of them. You only have 3 of them. And I did 1 of them. You only have 2 of them to do. Just do them like 49. Leave one side the same, 3a plus 1, 3a plus 1. Make the other side the same, and then negate it. And you're done. You've got the absolute value. You've solved for absolute value. All right, now the next one, 2-7, will be inequalities of absolute value. It's going to be a little bit longer, so buckle up. I hope I don't bore you too badly. Okay, we'll talk with you soon.